We got an update on the Luther Burden injury, and we recap everything else from day 2 of training camp next on the Unbearable Sports Podcast.
We're going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube, and also rate the show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. Just download Unbearable Sports everywhere you get your podcast, on Spotify, Apple Music, you name it. So like I said, the second day of practice is now officially in the books. So we're going to be doing exactly what we did yesterday. We're going to go down some of the injuries, kind of talk about instant reactions of how the practice went, then kind of go through our hype train and reality check winners of the day, and then also offense, defense, and then just any sort of miscellaneous news that is out there currently. So let's get started right away with the injuries, because the big injury that people wanted to know about was Luther Burden. Luther Burden was the big question yesterday because Luther Burden was not out there. He was not out there on the field, and we got a little bit of an update. Nicholas Moriano tweeted this out, that Ben Johnson on Luther Burden said he mentioned that Coach Randall and Antoine Randall has been all over him in meetings, keeping him involved. Burden is being quizzed nonstop, and also quarterbacks are pulling Burden off the side during walkthroughs. So they're at least getting him involved. Courtney Cronin also reported that it's a day-to-day as he continues to recover from that hamstring injury. Now, the other thing that we kind of heard a little bit more about with like Ryan Poles' interview yesterday from Hogan Johns was that this is a soft tissue injury that, hey, just give it time. Now, I think, this is what we wanted to hear. We wanted to hear kind of what it is. Now we just have to see, right? When is he going to come back? Like I said, he's someone that can really kind of be a game changer inside of an offense. Like when we were doing all the tape reviews, you see that, okay, he can take a step in his route running, but really you're going to be getting immediate performance, like an immediate boost when it comes down to playmaking. So would love to see him out there quicker on the field. Hopefully it's soon, but only time will tell. But other reports out there too was saying, hey, Olamide Zaccheaus still looking pretty good as a backup third option. So hopefully, with all the DJ Chark nonsense, DJ Chark talk that was out there, hopefully nothing else kind of comes out of that. But let's continue on to Shamar Turner, injured his ankle as well at the end of practice yesterday, and also limped off the field. So they're not sure about the actual severity, but we'll know more a little bit later. And the reason why also Zay Frazier has missed 2 consecutive practices is for personal reasons. So whatever's going on with him, hope for the best. But yeah, nothing actual injury related with that, which is kind of a sigh of relief because we already are starting to see some of those injuries. We saw some people back. We saw some people working out a little bit as well. But let's go into the instant reactions, because what I'll tell you from today is this just seems like another day that the offense behind the defense. And like we've talked about before, this is something that is kind of common, but we want to see this offense start making leaps. And it does seem like the whole Ben Johnson, like what Ben Johnson is trying to do is try and just kind of bring them all together. And just the way that he's leading, hopefully this is putting us in the right direction. Now, other pieces as well, just from today, there were some interviews like Kevin Byard said, he's like, as the young guys call it, there's the aura around Ben Johnson about what he's trying to do here. And there's also a comment made by Ben Johnson, kind of asked about him pulling the first team off, because I know some people were saying like, hey, do you think he actually kind of liked it, right? But Ben Johnson mentioned, we're on a time crunch. As you all know, as you guys all know, we got 90 minutes there the first day. We are up 105 here today. So just need to keep things moving on along there, or else other guys weren't going to be able to get their reps. But the point is, though, we got to be on our P's and Q's, and every minute, every rep is valuable as well. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up. So that's how we kind of started things out. And when he was just talking about like the whole time crunch and just getting things going. But yet again, he's not playing around. He wants things to get going. He wants things to be happening. He wants people to be out there and working. Totally respect that. So it's just the aura of Ben Johnson just continuously pushing these guys. So yet again, not another day that the offense wasn't great today, but steps in the right direction at least. So now let's talk about this whole hype train stuff of who are the people that are starting to, that did pretty well today. And yet again, doesn't mean that they're all of a sudden amazing or anything like that. Just kind of, I picked out 3 different things that I found. So number 1 is just Nahshon Wright. Nahshon Wright, Zach Pearson tweeted this out that Kevin Byard was saying he's been balling. He had a lot of turnovers in spring. And so that's great. Obviously, with Nahshon Wright, he's been starting, like I've talked about yesterday, he's been starting in place of the injured Jalen Johnson. And I know that I heard some people thinking that Jalen Johnson might be, coincidentally injured. Unfortunately, he actually is injured. So doesn't seem like it's some sort of play to get more money or anything like that. So I saw people talking about that a little bit, but yeah, we could dispel that rumor. Unfortunately, he's injured. I'd rather have him holding out than be injured. But yeah, so Jalen Johnson is currently out. So then you have Nahshon Wright in. And like I said, so far looking pretty good and at least kind of taking advantage of the opportunity. Some other people that I have on the hype train is none other than Tyson Bagent. Josh Buchalter reported that he's like, hey, Tyson Bagent was playing with the quarterbacks the second team, and also was saying that, hey, he looks pretty good. Zach Pearson also tweeted out too that Tyson Bagent was with the second team as well today. So yesterday with the third team, Bagent back with the 2s, and this is what we kind of expected, that they'd be playing them back and forth. I still feel like the most likely outcome is going to be Tyson Bagent is going to be your backup quarterback. And then Case Keenum is just going to be practice squad. He's going to be what you had with like Nathan Peterman, where he's simply just a coach for your team that is back there. So that's still what it feels like it's going to be. I don't think this is a competition at all. I think they're going to be going back and forth just to kind of see how the second team kind of runs with everything. But I would be very, very surprised if this is a legitimate competition. Like they will say it's a competition, but deep down, I don't think it's an actual competition. And the next person that I just want to bring up for the hype train is Ian Wheeler. Ian Wheeler had a good run today, and Courtney Cronin, I don't have the exact tweet right now, but she brought up saying that she wants to see a foot race between Ian Wheeler and Kyle Monangai, which quite frankly, that's actually big praise for Kyle Monangai because his speed was never really a strong suit. A big reason why he ended up dropping. Now, he's not the slowest person on the planet, but that's where there were some questions about his true top-level athleticism. So good stuff from Kyle Monangai, but the reason why I wanted to hype up Ian Wheeler a little bit right now is it's just great that he's out there. We saw the knee injury, and he was someone that I loved watching that was super, super fun in preseason. So it's just nice to see him back out there and doing good stuff. So it's not necessarily a hype train, but just someone that it's great to hear his name, and it's great to hear that he's practicing and he's running and he's looking fast. So can't wait for preseason because I can't wait to see him, against some real competition out there. So now we have to flip over for the reality check. And unfortunately, this is the second day in a row that we're talking about the offense. Offense, not great. Just overall, did not play well. And let me try and find this little tweet that had some of this. So the offense overall, like Zach Pearson tweeted this out. The first team, 11 on 11. The first play, Grady Jarrett with the pressure. So that's good for the defense. Then they reset. They had to reset to get rehuddled. Not good. Bad snap over Williams' shoulder. Not good. Incompletion. Not good. Scrambled. Then Williams fell over trying to escape. Not good, right? This isn't doom and gloom. This isn't like the thing that I always forget every year, like clockwork. I'm like, I don't think fans are going to overreact. And then like clockwork, usually the top comment on one of these things is like, why is Bears media hating? All Zach Pearson is doing is reporting. All he's saying is what's going on. And this is where, yet again, it's not time to hit the panic button or anything like that. This is practice. They're going to try and keep on getting better. Ben Johnson has a standard, and he wants people to go to that standard. So if this continues and this is continuously an issue, then yeah, then there's room to be concerned, right? There's definitely a little bit of concern in the back of my mind about what we're seeing, but I feel like with everything that they're trying to do, this should be steps in the right direction. But also, too, I've heard people that have been there saying that Tyson Bagent is the best quarterback currently, or he's kind of performed the best. But obviously, different sets, different groups. But yeah, like we've said before, the number one storyline, the number one thing is how does Caleb take with this offense? So just continuing more with this offense as well. A couple other pieces too. Caleb Williams was getting a lot more snaps under center. So good, right? We know that Ben Johnson likes a lot of the offenses that are under center. So we saw a little bit more of that. And then also too, like we said, Bagent was number 2, but other little nuggets as well. Let me just kind of shift this over. We saw Braxton Jones with the ones again for the installs. He did this again yesterday as well. So Braxton with the ones yesterday, but not for the actual 11 on 11s. That was when Ozzie took the first team snaps. But then today, Braxton's still not out there with the 11 on 11s, but Karan Amagaji, as reported by Courtney Cronin, had the first team reps at left tackle, and then Ozzie Trapillo with the 2s. So like we said before, this is going to be a competition, and I was a little bit curious to see what they were going to be doing with Karan. And they are truly treating this, like they said, as a 3-person competition, giving Karan Amagaji the first team reps today, even though that, like, do I still think that he's going to potentially get it? No, I still think that this is a 2-horse race between Braxton Jones and Ozzie Trapillo. So it still does seem like it's going to be those 2 people, but it's nice to at least see getting some reps because, you know, if Braxton doesn't win the job or they decide to trade Braxton away or something like that, Karan can be a great swing tackle. And if Braxton ends up being the first team left tackle, then hey, you got people that have multiple, different experience with the ones at that left tackle spot. So I don't mind this either way. A couple other pieces too, like for those that are out on YouTube, you can kind of read this. But I always like to kind of say it a little bit for those that are listening to the podcast. A couple issues that had to be corrected with the first team offense again. So yet again, that's some more things that we would like to see just kind of get cleaned up a little bit more when it comes down to this offense. But another piece too with this offense that wanted to highlight is this running game. So Ben Johnson saying that I know the perception out there is that maybe it's not the most talented room in the world about the running backs. They like to hear that noise, which you love to hear. And then also Ben Johnson on the vision of the Bears running game, as reported by Nicholas Moriano. He said, we got a great veteran O-line coach in Dan Roshar that he's been around. He knows what good football looks like. He'll be able to hone in on what he feels like our unit up front can handle. The volume is a big deal. How much is too much? So that's that fine line. We got to make sure we're attacking the defense and keeping them guessing, but at the same time, we got to do things that we are good at. So over the course of camp, over the next few weeks, it's going to come together for us. So there's some other pieces out there too, just about these running backs. And like I mentioned before, Kyle Monangai breaking off a huge run. Other little pieces too about the running game. There's the big run, like we said about Monangai, but still Roschon Johnson still seeming like kind of that running back too. Now there's some conflicting reports saying that Monangai did get first team reps and some people saying, no, that didn't happen. So I want to just throw it out there that some people were saying Monangai got first team reps, some didn't. But I do not know since I was not there. But it's something at least to monitor just to see if Monangai's getting more of those. But going through other little notes for the offense, nothing else really from the offense. So we can flip on over to the defense. So flipping over to the defense, like we said, Grady Jarrett got a pressure today. Also, too, Alex Cook was the person that the Bears end up re-signing after getting waived. They got rid of Tarvarius Moore and bring back Alex Cook. It's something that this was just like one of those low-key, pretty cool things that you saw the Bears defense do. So since he missed Wednesday's practice, they brought him out there to do those up downs that they did yesterday, just as like a, hey, initiation, this is how, you have to pay the toll like they talked about yesterday to then be part of this defense. So it's kind of a cool little thing. They literally just huddled all around him while he got back. So he did his up downs and everything. So I like it. It's one of those, like, playing a sport is a brotherhood. It is a bond that you need to there is something to chemistry. I just think that this is a kind of a cool little nod that they ended up doing. But besides that, on this defense, another little nugget too, Noah Sewell is still playing as the third linebacker. So that's at least some news as well, just because I know that I was hearing like Hippolyte's going to be the starter. Hippolyte's looking good. Hippolyte. And now Noah Sewell, second straight day as the third linebacker. So we'll see if anything changes with that scenario. But quite frankly, I'm actually a little surprised. When I first read it, I thought they meant third string. But no, third linebacker, Noah Sewell out there. But let's see any other miscellaneous news. I'm just kind of going through some of my notes, going through some of the other slides that I had for y'all as well out there on YouTube. But that's it. And, just to kind of put a bow on this, right? The offense needs to get better, just plain and simple, but they're still taking steps. But I'm just excited to see like how much they in fact actually grow. And also I really want to see Luther Burden out there too. I can't wait also until pads are on, because then we can actually see some blocking, actually see some competition. And the day that I will probably be there actually at practice is the Dolphins, during the Dolphins practice. So that's one that I'm excited to see, because the ones are going to be getting a lot of snaps. So I might be there, or Johnny PayPal might be there, my old co-host. So we'll see. But I'll definitely let you all know. But with that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe out there if you're out there on YouTube. And with that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair, and you know that she's a